I walked into chic thread fashion that day with a head full of Pinterest dreams and zero clue about this world. I thought interning here would mean fancy coffee runs, maybe a side of cool, exclusive looks, and that I'd somehow, blend in.
Amber, a fresh 20-year-old intern and new to the fast-paced New York fashion scene, waited in her favorite pair of torn jeans, a bold choice that seemed to match her feisty spirit. She learned to project confidence, each sharp response and edgy outfit adding to the tough exterior she presented. But beneath that swagger, her guarded heart told a different story. Shaped by a tangled history with her dad, Amber's resilience was the armor she wore, hiding a delicate vulnerability that only emerged in fleeting moments. It was the contrast of this inner fragility and outer bravado that set her apart, a combination that made her both intriguing and perhaps a bit unpredictable. The door swings open to reveal Dave Westbrook, a man in his early 30s with an effortless, commanding presence. With sharp eyes and a sharper suit, he's the type of guy who turns heads, and he knows it. He moves with a blend of confidence and sophistication, his tailored suit a perfect match for his polished demeanor. Known for his charm and sharp wit, Dave is the epitome of a suave, high-powered CEO, someone who leaves an impression in every room he enters. He carries himself with a quiet authority, his keen gaze observing everything and missing nothing, exuding the poise of a natural leader who knows precisely what he wants and how to get it. He had steered chic thread fashion with the prowess of a seasoned leader. Amber adjusted her outfit, her fingers nervously smoothing out invisible wrinkles as she stole glances at Dave. He was reviewing her work on the recent campaign, his gaze focused and intense, the silence stretching longer than she'd hoped. She shifted her stance slightly, resisting the urge to check her reflection in the glass door behind him. Her mind raced through each part of the presentation, searching for flaws he might catch, while he remained unreadable, his expression offering nothing but concentration as he scanned her efforts.
So, Amber, care to tell me why half the designs here feel like they're begging for the 90s to come back?
Well, some of us happen to think the 90s had serious style, Mr. Westbrook. I mean, grunge vibes and all?
And others of us think grunge is just an excuse to avoid using an iron.
Amber rolls her eyes, a hint of a blush creeping in.
Right, because creaseless perfection is so inspiring. Not all of us have to look like we stepped out of a glossy CEO catalog,
Dave leans forward, grinning.
Touché. But for the record, my style comes with a little thing called polish. Heard of it?
Amber smirks, folding her arms.
And I prefer character. I guess we can agree that one of us is bringing it to this campaign.
Guess we'll see who's bringing what when the numbers come in. And Amber might want to avoid the torn jeans on pitch day.
Only if you promise to wear something with actual color. Maybe a little 90s flair?
Don't hold your breath. But for you, I'll think about it.
The office was quiet, dimly lit as Amber worked late, focused and unaware of the time. Suddenly, a voice broke the silence.
Surprised you're still here? Most interns run the second the clock hits 5.
She looked up to see Dave leaning against the doorway, arms crossed, a hint of admiration in his cool expression. Amber managed a small smile, masking her surprise. Under the soft glow of the desk lamp, his gaze lingered, an unspoken acknowledgement of her dedication hanging between them in the stillness of the night.
Maybe I'm just different. Plus, I don't have a life. So this is kinda it for me.
There's a pause as Dave studies her.
Is that why you ignore calls from Dad every afternoon?
Amber freezes, thrown off.
Whoa, excuse me? Eavesdropping on interns now? That a new CEO perk?
Sorry, Amber. Wasn't prying, just noticed. And hey, no judgment. Got my own family quirks.
They lock eyes, a moment of unexpected connection. The air feels charged. One evening, they end up alone on the rooftop at a company event. Amber is tired, and Dave sneaks her a glass of champagne.
So, Mr. Westbrook, did you always know you'd be running the show here?
Honestly, I didn't. Sometimes life takes you by surprise. The plan was law school.
Lawyer vibes. Sorry, I'm not buying it.
Maybe you're right. Law would have been boring.
So what's it like owning a whole fashion empire?
It's like running full speed, but also having to keep everyone else in sync. Exhausting, but it's worth it. How about you? Dreams of design fame?
More like dreams of not failing.
Failure's never really as bad as people make it out to be. You get up, you pivot, and maybe you try again. Or you find someone who helps, who believes in you.
They exchange a long look, silent but intense. Over the next few weeks, Amber found herself unable to shake the memory of their intense moments together. Each glance and shared conversation replayed in her mind, intertwining with her daily tasks at Chic Threads Fashion. Yet despite the warmth of those exchanges, Dave had grown distant, his demeanor cooler, almost guarded. One afternoon, as she sat in the break room, Amber's colleague and friend, Mia, noticed her distracted state.
Amber, you've been in your head for weeks. What's going on with you?
Mia asked, concern etched on her face. Amber sighed, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly.
It's Dave. I thought we had something, but now he's acting like I don't even exist.
Mia raised an eyebrow, intrigued.
Did you two have a moment or something? Because the way you talk about him sounds like more than just work-related.
Amber hesitated, her cheeks flushing slightly.
We did. But now he's just cold. I need to confront him about it.
Mia leaned in closer, a teasing glint in her eye.
Are you sure you want to? He's the CEO, after all. What if he brushes you off?
Amber shot her a determined look.
I won't know unless I ask. I can't keep wondering what's going on.
With a mix of resolve and apprehension, Amber decided it was time to face Dave, hoping to unravel the mystery of his sudden chill.
Look, if you've got some problem with me, can you just say it? One minute you're nice, the next you're all distant.
It's not you, Amber. It's complicated.
Complicated? That's CEO code for I don't care. Got it.
She starts to walk off, but he grabs her arm, turning her back to him.
Amber, it's not like that.
They stand close, tension crackling. Later, after another late night at the office, Dave walks her out. They pause under the streetlight, neither one ready to say goodbye.
Amber, there's this rule, you know. No dating interns.
Good thing I'm not technically employed, just an intern, right?
That makes it worse.
I don't care about rules, Dave. I can't stop thinking about you.
She's vulnerable for the first time. Dave's resolve cracks.
Amber, you've been in my head since the first time you walked into that office, all sass and wild ideas. But I've got my own scars. Getting close to me isn't exactly the dream you might think it is.
Yeah, well, we all have scars, Dave. Some of us are just better at hiding them.
They stare at each other, finally closing the distance. Their kiss is intense, full of longing and hesitation that melts away in the moment. Amber, feeling emboldened, drops an impulsive invitation.
You know, you've been all mysterious about your life. You've seen where I live. Care to show me where the great Mr. Westbrook hides out?
Think you can handle it?
They drive to Dave's plush villa on the outskirts of the city, overlooking a private beach. Amber is visibly enchanted by the place, taking in the ocean breeze as they walk out to the terrace.
Must be nice living like Gatsby, huh?
Gatsby had some lonely nights too, Amber. Success doesn't guarantee happiness.
Amber's smile fades as she absorbs his words, a flicker of her own hurt surfacing.
Yeah, I get that.
There's a heavy pause and Dave picks up on her tone.
You want to talk about it?
Amber hesitates, but something about the openness of the night, the waves crashing against the shore, makes her feel safe.
My dad. He was more into his career than he ever was into being a dad. It was always work. Work, work. Even when he was home, he wasn't really there, you know?
And now you're here, interning in this crazy world, chasing your dreams. Does he know?
Amber looks down, her voice wavering.
He doesn't care. I tried everything growing up to make him proud. Nothing worked. So I stopped trying.
Dave moves closer, his gaze softening.
Amber, it's his loss. If he can't see the talent and fire you have, that's on him, not you.
Overwhelmed, Amber's defenses crumble, and she starts to cry softly, the vulnerability she's kept hidden spilling over. Dave reaches out, pulling her close, wrapping his arms around her as she lets her guard down completely.
I don't want to feel like I'm never enough anymore.
Dave holds her tightly, his hands stroking her hair, his voice a gentle murmur.
You're more than enough, Amber. More than you know.
Their eyes meet, and the tension between them thickens, the vulnerability turning into something deeper and undeniable. Dave leans in, their lips brushing tentatively before melting into a fiery, passionate kiss. Each kiss gets more intense than the last. Dave leads her out to the private beach under the moonlit sky, waves gently crashing nearby as their kiss deepens. The world falls away around them, leaving only the two of them, wrapped in a passion that neither of them can resist.
Sometimes letting someone in is the hardest thing in the world. But that night, for the first time, I felt seen. Really seen.
The morning after, at Dave's beachside villa, Amber wakes up wrapped in a soft, oversized blanket, sunlight streaming through the open windows. The sound of waves is calming, but her thoughts are anything but. She glances around, noticing Dave standing at the terrace, looking out over the ocean. She gets up, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders, and joins him outside.
Good morning?
Amber smirks, trying to mask her emotions.
Quite the view you've got here, Mr. Westbrook.
They both laugh softly, the tension from last night still palpable, but a warm comfort settling in.
One of the perks, I guess.
Amber looks at him, her expression softening.
Thanks. For last night. For listening. I don't think anyone's ever really listened to me like that.
I meant what I said, Amber. You're remarkable. Don't let anyone, especially not someone who couldn't see it, make you feel otherwise.
Amber hesitates, taking in his words, a mix of disbelief and gratitude in her eyes.
You know, you're kind of a puzzle. One minute you're all business, and then, well, here we are.
You like a good mystery, don't you?
Maybe. But I'd prefer to solve them without getting my heart trampled in the process.
He reaches out, gently brushing a stray strand of hair from her face.
Amber, if you haven't noticed yet, I'm not letting you go so easily.
They share a long look, the connection between them undeniable. Amber takes a deep breath, feeling a sense of security she hasn't felt in a long time.
Well then, maybe you'd better get used to having a little chaos in your life.
They laugh and Amber reaches up to kiss him, soft and lingering. Their embrace turns playful, and they end up walking hand in hand down the private beach, barefoot, laughing like they're the only two people in the world. Amber stops, looking up at him, a playful glint in her eyes.
So, what's next, boss? You gonna give me the grand tour of your empire?
If you're up for it, I'll show you everything.
They walk along the shoreline, a perfect balance of lighthearted banter and deep connection unfolding, the beginning of something neither one of them expected.
I never thought I'd find this. Someone who could see past the armor I wear and find the real me. Turns out, sometimes the greatest mysteries lead you exactly where you're meant to be.
At a fashion event, Dave announces Amber as a key contributor to their latest campaign. Amber's eyes widen, shocked. Later, she approaches him.
Was that really necessary?
Letting people know you're more than just the intern? Yeah, absolutely. You deserve it, Amber.
She's touched but hesitant.
I don't need rescuing. But thank you, Dave. For seeing me.
You know, maybe it's me who needs rescuing.
They share a look that says everything, and she grabs his hand.
Then let's take on this crazy world. Together. Deal?
Deal.
Their hands entwined, they walk off into the bustling night of New York City, together.
It turns out that love is a force unbound by rules or the weight of a broken past. It doesn't seek permission or follow a script. It simply blossoms when you least expect it.
In those unexpected moments when two souls connect beyond their histories, love transcends the chaos of life. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to transform everything. Because when you strip away all the complexities, all you ever need is the courage to embrace love as it comes.
All You Need Is, a podcast where the heart finds its voice through enchanting romance stories. Join me as we explore the timeless power of love, weaving together tales that spark joy, nostalgia, unspoken desires, a warmth that makes your heart flutter, and the sweet magic of love that transcends time. From the first blush of infatuation to the comfort of lasting connections. Prepare to be swept off your feet as we delve into the intricacies of relationships, celebrate love in all its forms, and remind you that, at the end of the day, all you need is. Podcast conceptualized and created by Nazar Partiwala using 11 Labs.
Tune in and let your heart be your guide.